إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الميامين المنتجبين واللعنة الدائمة الأبدية على أعدائهم أجمعين إلى قيام يوم الدين. أما بعد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. First of all, we'd like to offer our greetings and also greet our 12th Imam Ajalullah Ta'ala Farajahu Sharif for this happy occasion, the occasion of the birthday of Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wassalam, and the birthday of Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salatu wassalam, and the birthday of Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas alayhi salam, and based on some of the ahadith, birthday of Sayyidah Zainab alayhi salatu wassalam. Maybe this is not a coincidence, maybe this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's planning to gather all the birthdays of the heroes of Karbala together in this 1 month. Sayyidah Zainab alayhi salatu wasalam, there are narrations that 1st of Sha'ban, some narrations are 6th of Sha'ban, it depends, some are out of Sha'ban. But since Imam Hussein is on the 3rd of Sha'ban, and Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas 4th of Sha'ban, and Imam Zainul Abidin 5th of Sha'ban, so that may be an indication that the true date of Sayyidah Zainab alayhi salatu wasalam could be also in Sha'ban, because they link together the history of Karbala. They are the heroes of the history of Karbala. In this session, I don't know if I'll be able to speak about 3 of them, but we'll take a little bit of inspiration from each of them. If not, then inshallah tomorrow there may be a possibility I may be speaking in YMA. We'll continue there. Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam, we learn from him the dignity that never give up. This is the message of Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam. No matter what happens, if your life is taken away, if your wealth is taken away, if your family is taken away, never ever give up. So this is a strong message of Imam Hussein and his tragedy. Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam, like his ancestors, Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam, and the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and Fatima Zahra salamullahi alayha, he was a generous Imam, same as his ancestors, and he was a pious, he was the abid, the worshipper. All those qualities of the previous infallibles, they were collected in Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam also. In his generosity, it is mentioned in one of the narrations that a Bedouin guy came to him and asked Imam Hussein that I have been asked for a ransom money or blood money. We call it in Arabic diya. Diya, basically that day if somebody accidentally kills somebody, someone dies accidentally by a person, then he has to pay diya, which was 1,000 golden coins or golden dinars at that time. And this person did not have enough money. They were asking him to pay this diya, and he's responsible to pay the diya because he had committed this accident. Somebody died accidentally because of him, unintentionally. Because if intentionally, then there are some other rules. But if someone dies unintentionally by someone, then he has to pay this diya. He didn't have this diya money, the blood money, to give to the family of the deceased one. So, of course, he was looking for someone to help him, and the door of Fatima Zahra salamullahi alayha and her children, that's the door of generosity. They were known that this is the door where a person, when he comes, he doesn't leave empty-handed. So he comes to Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam. Our A'imma salamullahi alayhim, they deal with different matters in different ways. Sometimes people, they will come and ask them help, they will just give it to them. Sometimes they will tell them to write it on a piece of paper, don't ask, preserve your dignity. And this is one of the incidences where Imam ﷺ wanted this money to be earned. So Imam did not say, come and work with me for 1,000 days, and carry my load and here and there. No. Imam told him, I'll ask you 3 questions. If you answer those 3 questions, then I'll give you the full money. If you answer 1 question, I'll give you 1/3. 2, 2/3. 3, I'll give you the full amount. So this person asked, me you are asking questions, O son of Rasulullah? Me? Who am I? You are the one I need to ask you questions, not me. He said, well, you want to earn this money? Answer these questions. So Imam ﷺ said, okay. The person says, okay, inshallah. So he asked, what is the best of deeds? Ayyul a'mali afdal. What is the best of deeds? He said, al-imanu billah. This is a Bedouin guy. And the Bedouins, they have special instinct that their fitrah is clean. Why? They're away from the environment, pollutions, contaminations. So they have this they have this fresh soul. That's why many times, why do some of the scholars and speakers, they take you or take the youth to the camps to let them experience this purity away from the pollutions, contaminations of the society, the diseases. So there a person refreshes himself, resets his system, and then he realizes that how far away he is from being close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when he's in the society. Living in the society is a challenge, is a jihad fi sabilillah, because anybody can become a believer outside in the wilderness. But to be a true believer living in this community which is surrounded by temptations, that's a big challenge. They say that God knows the story is true or not, but just as they say, Shaykh b'Shaykh yudhkar, that it has a kind of educational point in it, that's why I'll bring it. They say there were 2 brothers. These 2 brothers, they were so pious. One of them, he could not tolerate the temptations of the community and the society. So he left the city, living in the mountains, in the caves. Now, after some time, this brother who was living in the city, he was a goldsmith. He used to make jewelries and all these kind of things. So he sends a messenger to this brother who was living in the cave. Come inside, come and visit us. It's not good, you have been far away, left us alone. So the brother who was in there, somehow he was exercising meditation, and somehow he got the spiritual abilities, special spiritual abilities. And it is not a big deal, because Quran tells us, and وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا بِأَمْرِنَا لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ سُبُلَنَا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shows them the keys and the methods. The more a person becomes pious, the more Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives him the power of kun fayakun and power of amr. Because it is mentioned in the Quran, إِنَّمَا أَمْرُهُ إِذَا أَرَادَ شَيْئًا أَنْ يَقُولَ لَهُ كُنْ فَيَكُنْ. His amr is nothing but this power of kun fayakun. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bestows this power to His beloved servants. The more you become close to Allah, the more you get these abilities. Like the one who was in the Quran story of Sulaiman Asif bin Barkhia. He brought the palace of Bilqis from Yemen to Palestine. 3 hours flight time nowadays, in a blink of eye. He had this amr. قَالَ الَّذِي عِنْدَهُ عِلْمٌ مِنَ الْكِتَابِ. He had this knowledge how to open the power of amr, or how to get this kind of abilities by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَا أَمْرُنَا إِلَّا وَاحِدَةٌ كَلَمْحِ الْبَصَرِ. So the amr has been mentioned in the Quran in a very unique way, especially when it comes to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the messengers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and those pious ones. So they have these special abilities. So this person somehow, he got these special abilities. So he brought a sift. I don't know if you have seen where you put the rice and try to, or the flour. The flour you put and then try to drain clean the flour unwanted things inside the flour. So he got the sift and he poured some water in the sift. And there was a string on the sift, and he said, take this to my brother. That means he's giving a message that, tell my brother, see, by living far away, I got this special ability, I got this spiritual power, I got this connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the messenger comes and gives to the brother. The brother who was goldsmith, he tells, okay, if that's the case, then take this to my brother. He brings a piece of cotton and he puts a charcoal, burning charcoal on it. And the cotton does not burn. And again, this is some of those yanar kudi bardan wa salaman type things. So anyhow, this brother goes and, the messenger goes and takes this to the brother who was living in the cave. That brother was surprised. My brother who's living in that society has this strong power, and I'm putting my time here. Let me go and visit my brother. He's living in temptations and he has built up this spiritual power. Let me go there. He comes there to visit his brother. While he was visiting, there was a lady, she came inside to make a ring or something like that, to make a, bracelet. So the brother wanted to have, the goldsmith brother, he wanted to have the size of the wrist. So he gave her, she stretched the hand, she was going to stretch the hand, he gave her a string to measure the wrist. While she stretched her hand, the water in the sift fell down. The water in the sift fell down. And here the goldsmith brother told him, see, this is your spiritual ability. You could not handle a lobe on the temptation of the wrist of a woman. This could not. And I am here dealing with women and all these kind of things, and alhamdulillah. So the point here is that a person does not need to go far away to become pious. He can be pious. If he does his jihad in the society, he can become a stronger mu'min, stronger than that person. But when we go to these camps and when we go far away from the cities, it is sometimes to reset our system, sometimes to realize how much pollutions we have, how much temptations we have surrounded and accumulated around our ruh or in our nafs. So this Bedouin, usually Bedouins, they have this clarity, they have this purity. So in one incident, Imam Ali also had or the Prophet a Bedouin came and the Prophet told him that, how do you believe in God? How do you believe that God exists? And he said, he brought the theory of causality, that I see the droppings of the camel, they indicate that there was a camel. I see the footprints indicate that there was somebody who walked. So how can not all this gigantic universe indicate that there is a maker for it? So these are the Bedouins. So Imam Hussein wants to give some message here. Message number one, that do not insult the Bedouins, because mainly the Arabs in those times, they used to insult the Bedouins. Imam wants to let them know that this person has a knowledge. Though he is living far away from the society, he has this clarity, he has this purity. So do not humiliate, do not insult Bedouins or people who are ignorant. Maybe they have knowledge, maybe they have pure knowledge from themselves. So do not humiliate anybody. And number two, Imam wanted to teach the companions that sometimes you have to earn things. Things shouldn't be giving up, like shouldn't be freebies and gifts and like that. No, there needs to be some kind of work in order to earn. So here he asked the question, what is ayyul a'mali afdal? He said, al-imanu billah, having faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is the best of deed. No matter what happens, if you have this faith inside you, that means all your a'mal are accepted. But if you worship day and night and do Salatul Layl and Khatmat of Quran and finish the Quran and all these kind of things, and you lack the faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is not going to help you. Why? Because that is not for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is to show the people. That is to please yourself. Sometimes we do serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because we like to do, because we love to do, because we want to please ourselves. Sometimes shaitan comes and lets you do the worship, but not to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to please yourself. So that's why we have to always focus that is it pleasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or is it pleasing myself? The pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And how? If we have the faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not the, I always distinguish between the intellectual or the faith by knowledge and faith by heart. People, they know God is there. But the question is, do you believe? Do you feel the existence of God surrounding you, with you? That is the point. If you feel like that, like Imam Ali alayhi salatu says, whenever I see something in front of me, I see God. Behind me, I see God. Up, I see God. Down, everywhere I see God in front of me. That is why he's feeling the existence of God. He's connected with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That kind of faith we are talking about. Otherwise, many people they believe there is God. But do they believe from their heart? Or their heart, can their heart see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? One guy comes to Imam Muhammad al-Baqir alayhi salatu wasalam, and he asks him, did you see God? Imam Muhammad al-Baqir alayhi salatu wasalam said that, how can I worship a God I have not seen? What's going on? You Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam, you tell us that God cannot be seen. And now, so Imam alayhi salatu wasalam responded that God can be seen by heart. Feeling of God, existence of God, the love of God inside your spirit, the love of God inside your soul. When you have that kind of feeling, that is your belief in existence of God and in God. So the best of deed is feeling that God exists inside your heart, not the 1 + 1 is equal to 2. That's okay. That may open the channel to your heart so that the belief has to go inside your heart and your soul must be saturated by the love of God and the existence of God. We are all surrounded by the temptations. Nobody is free from the temptations. We are, everybody, including myself. If I say no, I'm free from temptations, then I'm the biggest liar on the earth. No. But we have to revive that God which is inside our souls, and try to avoid those temptations. So this was number 1. Number 2, Imam alayhi salatu wasallam asked him, فَمَا النَّجَاةِ مِنَ الْهَلَكَةِ What is the rescue? What rescues you from being perished? Now we have 2 types of halakah. Perishment in this world and perishment in the hereafter. Look what was the answer. Al-thiqa billah. Trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No matter what happens, trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In one of the narrations, أَعْلَمْ أَنَّ الْأُمَّةِ لَوْ اجْتَمَعَتْ عَلَىٰ أَنْ يَنْفَعُوكَ بِشَيْءٍ. Let it be in your knowledge that if the whole nation, they got together to benefit you, لَنْ يَنْفَعُوكَ إِلَّا مَا قَدْ كَتَبَ اللَّهُ لَكَ. They will never ever be able to benefit you except for whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has written for you. وَعْلَمْ أَنَّ الْأُمَّةِ And let it be in your knowledge, لَوْ أَنَّ الْأُمَّةِ اجْتَمَعَتْ If they gather, عَلَىٰ أَنْ يَضُرُّوكَ بِشَيْءٍ They gather to harm you in a thing, لَنْ يَضُرُّوكَ They will never ever be able to harm you, إِلَّا مَا قَدْ كَتَبَ اللَّهُ لَكَ. Trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is very important. Anything happens, just say, inshallah, that's good. If you take your causes, if you take your precautions, if you do whatever you have to do, that's i'qil, tie, and watawakkal, rely. If you tie and rely, take your causes, and then rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whatever happens, that's good for you. You have to have faith in that. You have to believe in that whatever happens, inshallah, that's benefit for me. That's good for me. By that only, we will be having success in this world, because we know, even if I die, even if I was martyred, even no matter what happens, that's good for me. I'm trusting in Allah. because I am doing this for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, my God, my beloved Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is more generous than me. Then He will never turn His back away from me. He will never let me down. This is Allah. If you are helping Allah, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is more generous than in tansurullah yansurkum. If you support Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will support you. So that's thiqa billah, because you have trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And no matter what happens, of course we have to take precautions. But then, after taking precautions, whatever happens, that is good for you. Inna Allah 'inda husni dhanni 'abdihi. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is at the good thoughts of His servant. Think good about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You will find it as you expected. That's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, thiqa, you have to trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I remember a story I saw on the email. It was really touching story for me. It was a slideshow. There was a guy, he was mountain climbing, and somehow he fell down. And you know, they tie their waist to a rope, and they nail that rope. They nail it to one of the rocks. When they go up, they keep nailing the rocks, and there's a rope tied to their waist to that nail. This guy slips and falls down. Here, a sound comes to him: untie your rope. He did not tie. I mean, this is a made-up slide just to let us get a knock. Again, sometimes stories they fix the concept strongly, and I was really touched by this story. So God tells him, untie your rope. Now, first, do you trust me, O my servant? He says, yes, O God, I trust you. Untie your rope. He says, if I'll untie, I'll fall down. You know. Again, do you trust me? Yes, untie your rope. He did not untie his rope because he's afraid, oh God, I mean, you want me to die? So, third time, and he did not untie. What happened? He died. After he was dead, when the rescue people they came, they saw him. He was hanging 2 feet above the earth, 2 feet above the ground. So that if he would have untied himself, he would have fallen like 2 feet fall, not a big deal. But all what he thought was like he was looking up and down behind him. He didn't know how far the ground was. But the issue here is that if he would have trusted in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he would not have gone to this situation. He said, I trust in you. And this is the concept. The story might have some issues or contradicting issues, but the concept is true. When we live in our life, we say, oh God, I trust in you. Oh God, I trust in you. Believe me, it happens to me also. There are times, no. Don't you trust in Allah? I talk to myself, yes, I do. But no, I don't. Come on, it happens to all of us. That we say we trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we take our necessary precautions, everything, yet we are afraid to move forward or to go step ahead. And we say we trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we are hesitating to put 100% trust. This is like 0.01% trust. When you trust in Allah and you hesitate, that means there's a problem in your trust. You don't have a full trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that is what this Arabi is trying to say, that if you want to have success from being perished, athiqa billah, trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the third thing he asked, فَمَا يُزَيِّنُ الرَّجُلُ, and we'll end with this, فَمَا يُزَيِّنُ الرَّجُلُ, what is the beauty of the man? What makes the man beautiful? We know the women, they like to put extra beauties beside their internal beauty. But man, external beauty, nowadays also men, they desire external beauties. But what is the real beauty of man? He said, Al-ilmu ma'al-hilm. Knowledge with patience. Knowledge with tolerance. Because if you have knowledge, there needs to be sabr. Al-ilm. That makes it beauty. But if you have knowledge, and you don't have sabr, you don't have hilm, that is not the beauty. That is not the beauty. We all are tested, and we all many times fall down and fail, and we lose our beauty. Al-ilm. So Imam Hussein tells them, what if that did not happen? That means, suppose if the person was not knowledgeable and he did not have tolerance, then what? How can he beautify himself other than that? Or he did not have knowledge, so that help part also goes away. He said, Malun ma'ahu muruwa. Mal, for wealth, with dignity. That means he doesn't become spoiled. He doesn't have ego. He doesn't have arrogance that I am above you guys because you are roaches in the community. You don't have enough wealth. You are ants. You are nothing. I am the one. I am the elephant. I am the giant because I have wealth. You know, there's many people, many times they have this kind of nature. So if he doesn't have dignity, he doesn't have muruwa, then that does not give him the beauty. So here, so suppose if he did not have mal, Imam Hussein says, then faqrun ma'ahu sabr. Faqrun, poverty with patience. If he's poor, then he needs to have patience, because al-faqru kufr sometimes, because sometimes the poverty leads to deviation. Many people they are deviated. Many of those religion who are based on buying the people. You know, they open hospitals, they open schools on this condition that you become follower of my faith. These people, they sell their religion, and there are buyers. If there is a poor guy, you say, okay, this Islam doesn't fill my stomach. Okay, that to hell with Islam. I don't want this Islam. He doesn't have sabr. He has poverty. He has poverty, but he doesn't have sabr. So where he will go, where he is being given nice food and nice things and everything nice, that is the problem. So if there is faqr, there needs to be sabr. If there's so Imam Hussein says that, okay, A'rabi, one last thing. Suppose if this person did not have faqr, or was faqir, he did not have wealth, he did not have knowledge, he was faqir, he was poor, but did not have sabr. So what? This A'rabi says that let a lightning bolt come from the sky and perish him. Imam Hussein smiled here. He said, then he gave him the 1,000 dinar, and beside that he gave a bonus. See, this is Imam Hussein He gave him 1,000, he gave him a ring of 200 dirham, that means 1/5 part of that thing. So this is how Imam Hussein teaches us. Many times when people they ask, tell them they have to earn it somehow. Don't give them freebie, let them earn, you know, and let them express their knowledge. Imam Hussein is infallible, alim, source of knowledge, ocean of knowledge, but he's yet allowing one of his companions or one of his servants to express his knowledge and let the people learn from him. This is the modesty of Imam Hussein So, and finally we end, and one of the quotes of Imam Hussein he mentions in the story, مَنْ نَفَّسَ كُرْبَةَ مُؤْمِنٍ. Whoever relieves the distress of a believer, a mu'min who is in distress, who is not happy, somehow, if you relieve the mu'min from his distress, a believer from his distress, فَرَّجَ اللَّهُ عَنْهُ كُرَبَ الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will relieve, just bringing a smile on your mu'min brother will bring you the happiness of this world and the happiness of the hereafter. Subhanallah. Just a smile, just make your brother happy, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not give you one happiness. The happiness is of this world and the happiness is of this hereafter. وَمَنْ أَحْسَنَ. Whoever bestows favors, أَحْسَنَ اللَّهُ إِلَيْهِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bestow His favor upon him. وَاللَّهُ يُحِبُّ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. And for sure, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves those who bestow their favors upon others. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by the sake of Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam, to give us in this world the visit of Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam, and the hereafter, the intercession of Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam, We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to cure all our sick ones by the sake of Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to relieve every distressed one from his distress by the sake of Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make the appearance of the grandson of Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam soon. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep us among the loyal supporters of the 12th Imam. And in his occultation and after his appearance, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless us with the blessings of Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam, and as mentioned, to give us the inspiration to visit Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen, wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa alihi al-tahirin.